Hi, you're right. Today we're going to be conducting a demonstration on a prac in your book called Practical 6.2 called Physical Change. The aim of this prac is to conduct a series of activities and experiments in order to explore physical change and to be able to identify the evidence of change. So we'll have three different activities we're doing today. The first one will involve a cup and a piece of ice. Second one will involve a piece of Play-Doh, or large ball of it. The third one will involve some, it says hydration powder in your book. What I'm using isn't exactly hydration powder, but it will have the same desired effect. It's called methyl cellulose powder, and I'll have two beakers, one of water, one on its own, empty, and a spoon. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so activity one involves us having a piece of ice and a cup. Aim is for us to first put the ice into the cup. Okay, so inside the cup, the ice, because you can't obviously observe how things feel. To me, that feels very wet, but also hard and cold. And there you go, in the ice. So that's an observation that you guys can place down for that one. So just observe what you can see there for your initial observations, and we'll come back to that at the end of the prac. Okay, so this is activity two. So I have got a piece of Play-Doh here. The first step says to take the piece of Play-Doh into your hands, observe and record how the Play-Doh looks and feels. So obviously you guys can't really observe how it feels, but obviously observe how it looks while I tend to just play around the hand. As far as how it feels very soft, a little bit sticky, and it also smells. I'll have another quick smell. Smells kind of an interesting smell. It's made out of a fairly large whack of flour and salt, so it has a bit of a salty kind of smell to it, and also just a bit of an unusual kind of sort of floury, salty smell. Okay, so that's the first section. So what we need to do now is we need to break the Play-Doh into lots of little bits. Just observe how that looks as I do that. So how does the Play-Doh look now? Now, it certainly feels a lot more mushier to me. And I have to have a bit more of a smell. The smell's definitely a lot stronger now. And it definitely has a bit more of that salty smell. Very, very sort of doughy and sticky in the fingers. You can see it's kind of sticking to my hands quite a bit. But so obviously the main thing is you want to be looking at the physical change involved in the breaking of that Play-Doh. So yeah, very sticky. Have a look at my fingers. It's a bit stuck on my fingers there too, because it's definitely gooey and very doughy and sticky. And yeah, so what evidence of change can you see in this particular part? And record that in your results section. Okay, so this is activity 3, and I have some methyl cellulose powder inside beaker here. If you want to record how that looks, my eyes, it's actually very dry powder. It feels almost a little bit like salt in the fingers. I also have a beaker of water here and a spoon. Okay, so I've added the powder to the beaker as you see. Now what I'm going to do with this one is, it's slightly different to the method in your book. I'm going to add the water to the powder. And so obviously record your initial change, your initial physical traits. And then I'm going to pour the water in. And we're going to give it a bit of a mix. Obviously water is water in terms of your description of how that looks, but now I'm just going to mix this powder up. Okay. Okay, so just observe what you can see with the methylcellulose powder, dry powder, and the water mixing. So how does that look to you? What do you reckon you can see? How's the physicality of the liquid and the powder changed? I'm just going to pour some out. I'll spoon it out onto this watch glass here. As you can see, it's certainly changed. Actually, it's form of almost a very jelly-like solid. So the powder has definitely been hydrated, just like within hydration powder, and it's formed what you can see in front of you. So obviously, guys, you need to explain, record what evidence of change you see in the results table as well. Okay, that's activity 3. Okay, guys, we're just coming back to activity 1, and what I have here is the cup that had the ice in it. So this is what you've got in front of you. Now, if I shake that around, you can actually hear a very small piece of ice that's still in the bottom there. But obviously that's changed significantly. And actually, as I shake it, it's actually slowly disappearing to what you can see. So guys, obviously I don't need to get too descriptive with ice and its physical change, but what you guys need to do is record the physical change that you've observed. Is there any evidence of physical change, and yeah, what the physical change is in your results section for activity 1.